MOMVERSATIONS.
Buy for them that Indomie, let them make, make them together with them, basic chores, washing clothes, doing dishes, mopping the house or vacuuming, whatever the case be, but just be there. The most important thing is be there, be present. Actually, let's call it presence. Be there. Wakuone uko hapo. I think that's the first
In
one.
that point, I've taken home not to police.
Don't police.
Not to be a whip all the time.
Yes. And
it's important.
You're not always looking for mistakes.
Right.
Also, especially now the millennials, we are parenting from a place of when you get through the door, the first thing is, you did not mop the house. You've not done dishes.
No
Have you done your homework? Have you showered?
What are you people doing in this house?
What are you people doing here? My work is just to look for money. You guys just spend my, So
I know.
your kids fear you. You're always making them, taking them on a guilt trip.
I know.
So be there. Sometimes ignore the mistakes. Just come. Be there. You're not, and it's what we have said, because that is how we were parented. That is also what we are bringing in. So we need to break that. We need to really break intentionally. Break, and it's very intentional.
I love that.
It's intentional because already it's something that is already already in your.
The colonial mindset.
Yes, the colonial mindset. It's already so embedded in you, so it takes a lot of intentionality
to remove
it. And imagine you've had it for like 40 years. So it means you have to be extra intentional to
remove it.
Yes.
Wow.
Every day. And even when you make mistakes, like I remember one time I kicked my son here.
Kicked?
As in not kicked, as in I just hit him a bit here.
Hit.
Or not kicked, I kicked with my hand, just like what we call ngoto. And he told me, Mom, you said parents, the hand is for blessing. You're not supposed to use that hand to hit
the 17-year-old?
No.
The little one.
Small one. He's very alert. Wow. So in my mindset, I'm thinking like, how do you tell me that? And my old mindset, how do you tell me that? I'm your mom, I can discipline you. But now in my current mindset, I'm thinking, whatever decision I make now will affect this young boy. So I had to calm down. I'm sorry. You have made a mistake, but I was not supposed to
do that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yes, I shouldn't have done that. I should have either corrected, and if it's spanking, not where, not the head. Or,
How many parents say sorry?
That's I'm telling you, it's intention. It kills your ego. Your ego like dies, because imagine a 9-year-old, a whole 40-something-year-old.
Imagine.
Sorry. It really kills your ego, but
you have to do it.
You have to do it because you are looking at the man you're making out of this 9-year-old.
Right.
I don't see that 9-year-old now. I'm looking at the man in another 20 years time. If I don't show him it's okay to say sorry, his one will be abusing. He'll be abusing the women.
That's
because
true.
he'll be like, my mom treated me like that. So even now that I'm a big man, I have the right to abuse the women. You see, he'll take that out on another someone's daughter, and I don't want that. So let me just humble myself. Train up the child. Humble myself now. So I think that's now on the connection bit. So connect with your child. Be ready to say sorry. Nothing in you diminishes by you apologizing. In fact, you're mature, you're more, even God like when you can apologize for your mistake, you see? Yes. So
point number 2
is that thing.
Tip number 2.
I mean, tip number 2 is what we are talking about, the mindset thing.
Right.
Having, for a believer, we are told, have this mind of Christ. Have the same mind that Christ had, Even though he was the Son of God, he took on the form of being a man.
Right.
So I think that should also apply to being a parent. Have the mind of Christ. Loving. Forgiving. Appreciating people. Impact that to your child as a parent. Show them love. Show them what it means to care. Show them what it means to forgive. Show them what it means to take care of the poor or the neighbor. When you buy for them extra, like they're in school, buy for them extra pens. There is that child who maybe the parent did not manage to buy for.
Yeah, like I had that. I had that from my daughter once. She told me there's this girl in our class who never gets stationaries. She's always borrowing. And my first question was, do you share? She told me, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course she does share. So once in a while I understand when I don't see a pen or a pencil, it has maybe probably she shared. I don't keep on following up all the time, but I understand what you're saying by that.
But you see, if you don't have that kind of mindset, when your child keeps on coming, I don't have a pen. Why are you giving out? When is that one? The same money that I'm using to buy for you can be a parent, you see?
Right.
So already you've taught that child that
being mean is okay.
Being mean is okay.
Yeah.
You know, being selfish is okay. And that's why you find that even now, the generation we are living, people are very self-centered, very selfish.
Yeah.
You know, your neighbor can sleep hungry and you
don't care.
You have abundance of whatever. Your child can have 5 pairs of shoes and there's another child who
doesn't even have
with,
one.
You know, or with, you know.
Right.
So I think that's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
The mindset of Christ.
There's something you mentioned on the mindset. You said there's the way we think somehow. Colonial mindset is another place whereby we are having a clash with the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. Talk about that.
Oh, yes.
How should we change that thinking pattern? Right.
Oh, yeah. We are talking about the colonial mindset. How we, the millennials, were raised by parents who had gone through
colonialism.
And even our parents were also in that. Some of our parents were also in that colonial time. They grew up in detention camps, in concentration camps, whatever the case be. So the colonial was a master, a slave master.
Right.
So that is the mindset they passed on to most of our parents. And our parents passed it on to us. And that is what we are trying to pass on to them. To the
Gen Zs.
The Gen Zs. And the Gen Zs are like, no.
And that is what they showed us with the past few months. They just said, what you people took, we are not taking. That's why they were calling themselves partyless, leaderless, tribeless. Yeah, because the most of the colonial things and stuffs were based on that.
So with that kind of a mindset, the colonial mindset now, with the Gen Zs, they are not taking any of that.
I tell you.
They are not taking it at all.
I tell you.
So it means that you as a parent now, you have to change your mindset. From that colonial mindset now to flexible, open mindset.
Try and understand how they are thinking.
Understand how they are thinking. Then also, this is also another stage where they are forming an identity. They are becoming their own person.
Right.
So you can't come and impose your beliefs on them. You also need to give them space for them to grow up into their own person, independent of you. That is the time also they are more attuned to their friends. They want to look cool.
I've seen that.
They want to be liked by their friends, to flow more with their friends. So you as a parent, sometimes you look like you're an intruder to your own child. It means that you also have to go to that mindset and understand, as much as I'm the parent, now the child has stopped being so dependent on me. Now they would rather be more with their friends, with their peers than you as the parent. So you also need
it's okay.
And it's okay. You just need to guide them to know how to. And if you have trained them well, you should not be worried. Because
they know what's right.
They know what's right and what's wrong. So like now, that son of mine was telling me, I don't have many friends in school. I asked him why. Because when I go to the boys, they only talk about one thing.
Girls.
And Mom, and you know what that one thing is, and me, I don't want to keep on talking about that thing. In fact, most of them already have girlfriends. So I asked him, my son, right now, what do you need a girlfriend for? Please help me understand. From your point of view, what do you need a girlfriend for
at 17?
At 16 going to 17. And, you know, so it's a popular thing right now. And they feel the hormones, the hormonal changes are also doing what? Making them feel the attraction towards the opposite sex. So it's up to you now to have that mind of it's okay to feel like that. but you have also self-control.
Right.
Just because you're feeling that, you don't have to act out your feelings.
Yeah.
But if you have not now gone to that level of that, the child will experiment.
That's true.
They'll be like, oh, I feel
because that is what my friend is doing.
And I'm feeling the body is talking.
Yeah.
So let's hear what the body is talking. But you tell them you need self-control. You tell them actually even all your life you need self-control.
Right.
Even at 40, at 50, there is no point where you don't need. And self-control is the fruit of the
Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So if you find, just ask the Holy Spirit to help you.
Wow.
So that's now on the
mindset
bit. Yes.
Yeah. Tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is drawing the boundary between. You have said you connect with your child,
right?
Isn't it? So connection is friendship.
Yeah.
Is a relationship.
Right.
It's like a bond.
Right.
So you have to also draw now the line. I don't know, it's a thin line or whatever, between being
a friend
and a parent.
Right.
Because now parenting is authority.
Right.
Discipline.
Right.
Correcting.
Right.
Guiding.
Mentorship. Right.
Friendship is beshte, we are together on this. You know, I feel you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So you draw that line. So even the child or children or this child should know when it's mom or dad is being mom.
Yeah.
And when we are buddies.
Yeah.
You know. And there is that face of, like my children know when I put that face of mom and when I put that face of we are friends. You see. And they know when that mom face comes,
it's business.
It's business now. Let's get to business.
Yeah.
Yes. So draw the line.
Yeah.
Draw the line, because again you can be so much of a friend, then you become too permissive.
Yeah.
And then you raise what?
Yeah.
And you have seen so many spoiled children. A child is doing wrong and you're there, mommy, why are you doing that? Kababa, stop doing that. And the child is obviously doing wrong. And at that time you're supposed to be firm.
Right. So the balance is, the balance again also has, you have to have grace.
Yes,
it has
and wisdom actually.
Wisdom to balance.
And discernment also. Yes, to be able to balance now between this is now the time I need to be mom. And this or dad. And this is the time I need to be buddy.
Right.
But also don't be so much of mom that you spoil the
buddy bit.
The buddy. And don't be so much of buddy that you miss out on the on being now the authority. So when it comes to discipline, appropriate discipline the child. But even in the discipline, let the child know that you're doing that out of love. You're not doing it out. You know, most parents, like the millennials again, we discipline out of anger. You beat a child, stress
from the office.
You don't have money. You have arrears. Someone broke your heart. You have heartbreak. You know, you have character development. So you come and bring all that onto
the child. And that is what is usually a lot.
And that is what is a lot in most homes. Yeah, if you feel that the child has wrong, and at that time you're not at the right state of mind to discipline them, it's not an emergency.
No.
First go, calm down. Then come back now. And don't discipline. If you have like I have 3 children, don't discipline one child in front of all the others. You know?
Oh, okay.
Unamsomea, you're lecturing them. Kelele in front of all the others. Sit them down or go for a walk. And tell what you did, especially now the teenagers. Don't discipline your teenager in front of especially the younger children, because now even the younger children have lost respect for their
elder brother or sister.
Their elder brother or sister. Like me, my kids always say I favor my firstborn. They always say, Mom, you're always favoring Tyrone, you're always calling him my son. But the reason I do that, because I know he's at a delicate stage.
Right.
And very soon he'll be out into the world.
You have to give more attention.
Yeah, I have to give him more attention at the stage he's in. And I also have to make these other ones what? Respecting
the elder.
As the elder. You see? So don't discipline, especially the teenagers in public.
I read somewhere that it also brings down their self-esteem.
Yes.
If you discipline a teenager either in front of friends, his friends,
yes,
or in front of the younger ones,
yes,
it kills their
it kills their
self-esteem.
self-esteem. And most of the issues we are having right now are because of low self-esteem.
Kabisa.
The
lesbianism, homosexuality,
alcohol,
yeah,
whatever the rebellion,
yeah,
most of frustration,
right,
anger,
yeah,
whatever, it's mostly because of low self-esteem and low self-worth.
Oh my, yeah.
And that stems from the home and is being birthed by these millennial parents we are talking about.
God.
You have beaten down your child so much that even when they go out to the world,
they have no face.
They have no face. They don't know who they are. They are confused. They are angry. And that is also now what brings about this issue of them getting into abusive relationships, narcissistic relationships, toxic relationships. Anyway, so that's it. So we said now you put a balance between
being a friend, and authority,
and being an authority.
So
it's a wisdom,
balance. Yes. Yeah, that one needs a lot of wisdom.
Yes, and it's not cut on stone, as in it's not. You don't. It doesn't have a curriculum.
No.
You just do it as per.
Yeah, as how it flows for you.
Yes, how it flows in your home. And
okay.
whatever. Yes.
Tip number 4.
Tip number 4.
You said you have 5.
Yes. Tip number 4 that is very, very crucial is healing trauma, healing pain.
Yeah.
Your own pain as a parent. Heal that pain so that you break the generational trauma.
Would you mention like a few of the pains?
The pain, most of the pain that is usually there is resentment. I think resentment.
Yeah.
That is also birthed from anger.
Right.
Bitterness.
Yeah.
What else? Another trauma, that depression. Okay, those ones are the major ones, but also depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
All those disorders and dysfunctions.
Childhood traumas also?
Yes, actually what I'm talking about is childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Heal your childhood trauma.
Yeah.
So that you don't pass it on to your
children.
Because you find that the shosho had a certain pattern of anger, resentment, bitterness, passed on to our moms or our dads. Our dads or our moms
picked it up
and passed it on to the millennials.
Millennials
now we are passing it on to
the Gen Zs
and the Gen Alphas. So you find certain toxic cycles in families. You see.
Yeah.
And now out of those toxic cycles is what is giving birth to alcoholism. You find that a certain family, they are just alcoholics. A certain family just contains angry people. A certain family contains abusive,
womanizers.
Their marriages do not hold, do not work,
and
it's not a spiritual issue. It's this generational trauma we are talking about. So you get to a point where you say, the buck stops with me. We up to here now. Going forward, I heal my trauma for the sake of the generations that come after me. Fine, whatever I went through. I survived. It's not my fault, but I also don't blame them because I know they're also going through their own share of pain and issues. But from me now, I choose to heal for the sake of the generations that come after me. So you find
and with that, you have to identify what the trauma is. I think so, and it's very important then. Again, also you talked about being intentional. You have to be intentional to know what is the trauma, and especially also go back to your generation and see what was not good that you need to stop from flowing into your children. I love that, and that's a topic on its own that we'll need to handle, because I tend to feel that there's a lot of that being passed on from generation to generation, which has also messed up our society completely. Completely. You find that there is a lot of bad things happening that flowed from bad parenting, bad childhood traumas and all that has come up until where we are right now. Like there's a place we saw very little children as thieves. Wanaiba kuku. Okay, some place I was seeing kids who are supposed to be in school 12 years that when did they even know how to steal? You see, now that one, if you follow up, you'll find maybe the parent is not there.
And neglect. Yes,
And neglect. So the child is
neglect.
hungry.
Yes.
They have to look for, how to feed or one way or the other. And again, also probably there's that childhood trauma of that thing being passed on now, that the child until now, at a tender age of 12, 11, thereabout, they were not even teenagers. They are thieves. And they were caught. I don't know what happened to them after that. And I think that is something that as parents, they need to be very intentional in picking out. Yeah.
Acknowledge that there is pain in my generation.
Yeah.
I think now we're in that generation where we need to stop hiding things under the carpet.
Right.
And pretending that everything is okay, my family is
rosy.
perfect. Every family has a dysfunction. It's just the degree that maybe varies or the type. But there is no perfect family. There is no perfect, So just sit down, just acknowledge
that
the dysfunction in. And how do you know? You'll just see the cycles that follow you. You'll see the patterns in your emotions. You see, excuse me. If you're maybe prone to anger, bitterness, you don't get along with anyone.
Anxiety.
And you are always anxious. Maybe you have depression in whatever form it is.
Deal with it. Right.
And don't blame anyone. This is not a blame game. Don't say my mother was not there, my father was not there. Nobody took care of me.
Because of so and
so. You get to the meaning of, I read somewhere that the meaning of being an adult is responsibility.
Right.
So you are not blaming even if you blame them, there is nothing. Acknowledge that, wow.
Yeah.
Esther, for example, if it's me, this is what happens. Look at maybe your grandparents, look at your aunties, your uncles, your parents. See the things that really affect them. Now we are talking about psychological.
Right.
You see? Look at your own life. Are you also suffering? Are you also propagating the same pattern?
Right.
Break the pattern.
Right.
Break it for the sake of
the
your
child
children and
you're
the
raising.
Generations that
you're raising
now come from. And with the age we are now, we're in the information age, isn't it? So there is a lot of information. Pastors are dishing information, counselors, coaches, on the internet, YouTube. You can actually do a whole therapy
there
on YouTube.
Right.
You see?
That's true.
People are doing podcasts on even Facebook. What you're also doing, healing is everywhere. So there's no excuse for someone to stay in there. Dysfunction. Yes.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Tip number 5.
So tip number 5, last but not least, you said is the God factor.
Right.
So we are spiritual beings.
Right.
Living in
the physical world.
In a physical world, in a body, and we have a soul.
Yeah.
So I think the first bit begins with God. Bring God into that. And actually, this child that you have, the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha, whatever the age, is a gift from God, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when God gave you that gift, you are a steward, you are a manager.
That's right.
So yours is to go to God and ask God, you have given me this boy, this girl.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to raise
them?
What is their purpose? What is their destiny?
Yeah.
You see? Don't impose your own thing on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so raise them as per the way God wants you to. Pray for them.
Teach them the ways of God.
Teach them the ways of God. Read the Bible with them, you know?
Yeah.
Guide them into their purpose and destiny, because actually that's the most, the way Jeremiah was told, before I formed you.
Right. In your mother's womb
and ordained you.
Yeah.
So every child that comes with an ordination.
Right.
This is the path.
Yeah.
I bring you through these parents, and there is no child with a mistake, whether they are from a single or whatever the case be. So I bring you to this earth, this cosmos, through these two parents, this man and woman.
Right.
Because this is the path that I've ordained for you.
Yeah.
So you as a parent, you have to be now close. Build your relationship first with God, so that your relationship first is okay.
Yeah.
Then out of that relationship now, you're able to
pass it on.
But if as a parent your relationship with God is wanting, you'll not also be able to guide the children into also the ways and the path of God. But bring God into the family, bring God into the raising of kids. If there is a challenge, go to God.
Yeah.
Ask God. God, give me wisdom. Help me discern.
On where the issue is,
where the issue is, and how to solve it. I think also, or when you talk about spiritual things, I think, Mom, another thing is that we have also over spiritualized life. I feel that way. So we don't want to do our part. We want God to do everything.
Yeah.
We are waiting on God. How we normally say, we are waiting on God to do everything.
Yeah.
When He has given you the discernment, the power to be able to do. So God will not come from heaven and
do it for you. Yeah.
So He will give you the ability, the capacity, the wisdom, the power to be able to correct if it's an issue. If the issue is with you, He'll show you how to do it. If the issue is with your child, He will show you how to do it.
I love that. I love that. And in your 5 tips, I've heard there's so much work on the parent.
Yes.
There's a lot. It's not just that you went to the maternity and brought this child into the world, or as a father you did your thing and this child is now here, and wacha wakue, Mungu atawasaidia. There's a lot I've heard in the 5 tips that you've given. There's a lot of what is required of us as parents, you know, just to bring the normalcy into, you know, this thing that we call parenting. We say this thing called marriage in the program that we have with Daddy. And there's also this thing called parenting that you have to be intentional as a parent, as a mother, and also as a father. That's why I began by saying that this show is not only for moms. It's MOMVERSATIONS, yes, but it is not only for moms. It is something that you need to pass on to a dad somewhere, an uncle somewhere. They need to know these things, that parenting is a joint work, not only for the moms. What is your parting shot?
So my parting shot would be just to reiterate what you have said. Most of the time, when there is an issue with the child, the parents, like, they bring the child to me as a counselor, as a trainer, as a coach. They want me to fix the child.
Imagine.
Like, fix this child. He doesn't want to go, he's boycotted school, or he's not obeying, or he's using drugs or alcohol, or he's run away from home. So most of the time, parents want a quick fix on the child. But the best approach is, first, you as a parent, look at how have I raised this child that has brought out
this result.
Right. Yeah. So it's like planting a tree, and if the fruit is not good, you blame the fruit.
The fruit.
Yes, you blame the fruit. You see, but the fruit came about as a result of how you took care of the plant. Did you water? Did you apply pesticides?
From the word go, as a seed.
From the word go. So it's the same thing with parenting. If the fruit doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to be, succulent, ripe, destiny-wise, spiritually, socially, financially, always, then the first place you need to go is to the caregiver, the parent. And why you have this responsibility of raising this child. Where is the gap? Yes. But most people don't want to be told they are the problem. Most parents, because parents have this idea that they have done their best, that they are perfect. But we need to come out of that. Because if the result is not showing, then admit that there is somewhere that there is a problem. I think that's the most, just for parents to be woke, parents to be aware, acknowledge that there is a problem, and it's probably stemmed from you. Then look at yourself first. Analyze yourself. Then the healing will take place. A lot of resources are there, pastors are there, counselors are there. There is help everywhere. We don't have to be limited. To raise a generation that is unmanageable, and then we blame them. Gen Zs and some of those problems have come from us parents.
You've said there's help, and that is where now I want you to come in. Probably there's someone who's watched you, and they'd love to seek professional help for their teenager, for their adolescent, their teenager, and their youth. How can they contact you? Where is your office? How can they reach you? Now the professional bits, bring it here.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to us.
So with as you have said, now it's an information age.
Yeah.
So the easiest way probably to reach me would be my number.
Which we'll share.
Yeah. So someone can call or WhatsApp me. I think that's because it's a personal
thing.
It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
So I can give out my number.
Yeah, and then from there they'll take it on from.
Yeah, then when you have my number, you can send me a message.
Yeah.
You can call me. Then we can discuss first and see the way forward.
Right.
Yes.
Amazing, and that is what we do here. We always want to bring help closer, much closer to our viewers. And by you being here, I'm certain there is one parent somewhere who is going to want to reach out and just say, I think I need help. I heard Esther saying 1, 2, 3. I know I can go to Mom for prayer, Pastor Julie for prayer. I know I can go to Reverend B. Akama for prophetic. I can go for deliverance and all that. But now this thing, I need to handle it in a way. So we are going to share her number on the screen. Then in case you need to reach out to her, then you can make that call. I'm certain that she's, for me, I would advocate her, being that she has the spiritual background of it. Okay, she's born again. Okay, now that this is a Christian station, she is a Christian counselor who can be able to speak to your child in a manner that can be able to have the godly part of it behind. 2, she's there. She's raising a 17-year-old, and you said a what? 14 and a 9-year-old. So what we are talking about, she's there. Okay. So don't feel limited in any way to reach out. Also, you can call us if you need us to. In case you miss out on her number, you can call us on the studio numbers that are running down the screen. Then we can be able to connect you to her. This has been amazing, and I love the show. It has been a beautiful one that we'll definitely be seeing Esther more often on the set, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she has made the promise herself, so we will hold her accountable on that. And I believe that you continue watching SOA TV, where we touch lives with the power of love. Continue watching MOMVERSATIONS on Juliet Bernard Akama. God bless you. See you then.
Thank you for watching this episode of MOMVERSATIONS. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like and drop a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Catch you on the next one. God bless you.